And lastly, for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Roy Jones, Floyd Money Mayweather and Crawford were nearly pulled into a clash during a live moment after Crawford stunned the world by defeating Canelo Alvarez. Security rushed in as tensions rose and people began pushing, which made it seem for a brief second like legends from different eras might collide in the same ring. The situation was intense, but no punches were thrown. For years Floyd Mayweather was seen as the top boxer of his generation, and now Terence Crawford is viewed as the best active fighter. Moments like this make fans question whether there was real bad blood or if Floyd was stirring drama to stay in the spotlight, because after the Canelo fight many in the boxing world felt Crawford made a stronger impact than Floyd ever did, and that belief is where much of the tension begins.
You see all these fighters, they're doing the shoulder roll, you see, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Well, he should. With almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should. Mm-hmm. I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights were world title fights.
Floyd Mayweather ruled boxing as the pound-for-pound king for many years. He proudly called himself TBE, meaning the best ever, and retired with a perfect 50-0 record without a single defeat. He earned victories over stars like Pacquiao, Cotto, Canelo, and De La Hoya. Then Crawford stepped in and changed the conversation.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence Bud Crawford.
He has now become a 3-division champion and remains unbeaten. He has captured titles across 5 weight classes. Critics often said Floyd chose safer opponents and fought some legends after their prime, but supporters argue he stepped in with the biggest names in boxing and defeated them when he was at his very best.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference to people.
Entity, People, Max Kellerman, sports commentator, was the one who pointed it out. He said Floyd always decided the perfect moment to face his opponents. Crawford, on the other hand, has never stayed quiet about wanting the biggest challenges right away. That difference matters, and it shapes how fans see both fighters.
The second half of the fight put an emphasis on the fact that Bud was in fact outboxing him in the first half of the fight. It is one of the biggest wins in boxing history. And now let Uncle Max gather around, children, and I will explain this. This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Right. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And he did it.
The stats between them are very close. What separates Crawford from many others is his willingness to take real risks inside the ring. That bold mindset has stirred up the boxing world. Now fans keep asking, is Crawford actually better than Floyd Mayweather?
Who do you think's better out of those two? Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
Let's go back to the Canelo fight to understand why emotions are running so high. When Crawford stepped into the ring, most people believed he was too small for that challenge.
The favorite, Canelo or Crawford? Canelo. Yeah. Canelo.
What do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 150, 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collected all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course, he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're going to have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's going to take a toll.
He had to face a true 168-pound champion like Canelo Alvarez, which many people felt was too much to handle. It seemed unrealistic at first, yet Crawford not only survived, he controlled the fight and defeated him clearly. Canelo landed solid shots and tried to push back, but Crawford stayed sharp, moved around him and broke him down round after round. Even when Canelo fired heavy punches, they never shifted the direction of the match. By the 7th round, Crawford was firmly in command, and by the 12th it was obvious all three judges saw it the same way. The win was not just another victory, it was a historic moment. He made his mark across 3 divisions and remained undefeated while doing it.
Saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. He's a GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul, Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, you know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Some fans believe Floyd would never have taken that kind of risk. Crawford stepped up and defeated a naturally bigger champion at his full weight, and that is what many think bothers Floyd. Mayweather has always known how to control the story around him. He built a massive brand by calling himself money and constantly reminding the world that he was above everyone else.
You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights, 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
But now the spotlight has shifted to Bud. Many fans are calling him the new pound-for-pound king. Analysts are debating whether he has already surpassed Floyd, while his supporters say he showed courage in ways Floyd never did. That talk clearly does not sit well with Mayweather. Some believe that is why tension followed the celebration after the fight. Since then, Floyd has taken shots at Crawford, questioned his image, and even tried to spark conflict. Deep down, he understands that Bud's win over Canelo changed the narrative and made his own legacy feel challenged, and he wants control of that conversation again.
How are you feeling to be Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all?
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been his trainer before, so...
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Do what he had this point now in his career where he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
But here is the key point: Terence Crawford does not need Floyd Mayweather to define his career, and fans should recognize that. Floyd has always stepped into situations that made sense for him and protected his position. Crawford did not step forward to attack Floyd or damage his reputation. He simply went out there, handled his business, and let his performance speak for itself. Music Crawford learned a great deal from Floyd, and they even trained together in the past. After Bud defeated Canelo, Floyd tried to downplay the moment instead of praising him for making history. Rather than giving credit, he claimed Canelo was not that impressive. That is typical Floyd, always protecting his image. And it is not just about Crawford. Look at what happened with Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Floyd helped build Tank and promoted him under his brand, but once Tank wanted independence, Floyd criticized him and pulled attention back to himself. The pattern stays the same whenever another fighter starts to look like a real threat. Floyd shifts the narrative to keep the focus on him.
He gave you the spotlight. Like, why would he try to diminish your career?
Because at that time, I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept snapping.
So the people who see it that way call it jealousy. It was not Bud attacking Floyd at all, he was simply raising the level of the sport. But Floyd has always struggled with the idea of someone else stepping into the spotlight and becoming the new face of boxing.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
For years, Floyd has made his position clear. He calls himself the pay-per-view king and says he is the most recognized name in boxing.
A decade, I'm a fighter of the last century, honestly. and it's a reason why I'm the best fighter of the last 100 years. The credentials show it. And I went out there and showed it. What's better than going out there, being world champion for what, 20 years? Box office, I got the record. Pay-per-view, I got the record. It's better to win half 5 world titles than 4 at one particular time.
But here is the surprise: Crawford is proving he can reach that same level. The Canelo fight was not just important inside the ring, it was a huge event worldwide. It performed strongly in theaters, and Netflix helped stream it to fans across the globe. The stadium was completely sold out, and it became one of the most watched fights of the past 20 years.
I thought Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Crawford is no longer just seen as the top pound-for-pound fighter, he has grown into a major attraction. Fans are drawn to him and cannot ignore his presence. He understands how to headline a pay-per-view and turn it into a global event. No matter where he goes, he stays in the spotlight and keeps his name in the headlines.
Why were you so emotional afterward? Is it that you just realized everything that you achieved, the moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, the history, behind the sport is everything that, I trained for my whole life. It all was, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You have a lot of people that, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford is not marketable, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But anyone in Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold out crowd, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, marketable I'm not, and that kind of was hurting my career because, you know, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Or they said he's not, you know, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me.
Right.
I wasn't, you know, I'm not a guy that, you know, wear jewelry for no reason. You know, just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. You know, they go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. You know, it's just crazy though to see me headline, you know, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. In American history.
Floyd feels pressure because Bud is shining not only inside the ring but outside it as well. So why does Floyd seem interested in facing him now? The answer is simple: money and relevance. Floyd is retired from real competition, yet he stays active in exhibition bouts with YouTubers, kickboxers, and MMA fighters to keep the cash flowing. Those events brought attention, but they left no lasting impact. A fight with Bud would be different. It would attract massive numbers and sell itself. The storyline is powerful: an unbeaten legend against an unbeaten modern star, old era versus new era, the man who called himself TBE against the fighter many now believe holds that title.
Know how you is, you be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, bud. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll beat this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll beat his ass. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person ever.
Floyd sees this as a perfect chance to cash in and grab headlines again, which is why he keeps bringing it up. He would gladly step into that spotlight and hopes Bud gives him one last huge payday. But that is not really what Crawford is chasing. Floyd has always been someone Bud respected and praised as an all-time great, yet he has never pushed for a fight with him, and there is a clear reason. Crawford knows that beating Floyd now would not add much to his legacy. Floyd is 48 years old and has not competed at an elite level in nearly a decade, far from his prime shape. Critics would either say Bud only won because Floyd is older, or if Floyd somehow pulled it off, they would call it a fluke. Either outcome does little to elevate Crawford's standing.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
I beat your ass?
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
That is why Bud is not chasing a fight with Floyd. Nothing is blocking him from building his own legacy, whether that means defending his new title, moving up to middleweight, or even retiring undefeated. He and Floyd have never faced each other, and for Bud it is not about business moves. He has never relied on drama to move forward. The reality is Floyd wants to create noise so he can promote a fight that brings him another big payday. Crawford is in his prime and seen as the biggest name in the sport right now, while Floyd is no longer the active star he once was and wants the spotlight again. When tensions flared, it was not real anger, it was strategy. Floyd understands that controversy sells and keeps his name trending. He knows debate will bring attention and viral clips will push him back into headlines. In the end, Crawford does not need Floyd, and many fans already believe he has surpassed him.
They were saying that if he beats Canelo, it could put him as even the greatest of all time. What does that put him in the all-time list, man?
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15.
Yeah.
Easily, you know? There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know. But the punching, the output that he was giving Canelo, definitely gave him the win.
There is real tension in this story: the legacy of Floyd against the legacy of Crawford, the new king versus the old great. Since the Canelo fight, many feel Crawford has taken control of the spotlight, and Floyd may not be comfortable with that. Talk of a showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Terence Crawford keeps growing, but the real issue is legacy, not just a fight. Fans now call Crawford the top pound-for-pound boxer and point out that he is unbeaten across 3 divisions. Many believe his current popularity even rivals Floyd's as he sells out major arenas and dominates pay-per-view numbers. Floyd wants that spotlight back. He is eager to return, not to add to his record, but to secure another big payday and stay relevant, while Crawford seems focused only on his own path because his place in history is already secure. A bout with Floyd would not add much to his story. So what do you think if Floyd keeps calling? Should Crawford respond or ignore the noise and focus on his future? Share your thoughts below and join the Fight Motive fans.